The Tale of the Little Sunflower. In a dark corner of an old backyard garden, there stood a small sunflower plant named Lumi. Lumi wasn't like the other sunflowers that proudly stretched toward the sky. She was frail, with drooping leaves and a bent stem, as if she carried a heavy burden on her tiny shoulders. The reason was clear: the shadow. Lumi had been placed in a spot where the sunlight rarely reached. While the other flowers in the garden swayed joyfully under the sun's warmth, Lumi struggled to grow in the darkness. Every day she heard the other plants whispering, "Look at her. Why doesn't she grow like us? Maybe she's not strong enough to be a real flower." Lumi felt sad and ashamed. She began to wonder, "Am I a failure in this garden? Why can't I be like them?" One day, a strong windstorm swept through the garden. Many petals were torn off, and several stems snapped. After the storm, Lumi noticed that she was still standing despite her frailty. The other flowers spoke of her survival in surprise. How did Lumi not fall? It was then that an old, wise olive tree in the garden, known as Grandma Olive, leaned down and spoke in a calm, soothing voice. "Lumi, don't be ashamed of the shadow you live in. The shadow has taught you how to cling to the earth firmly and how to seek light within yourself rather than outside of you." Lumi began to think about Grandma Olive's words. She realized that the shadow she thought had weakened her was actually teaching her patience and resilience. Slowly, she stretched her leaves toward any small ray of sunlight she could find, no matter how faint. Over time, she discovered that her beauty didn't lie in her height or size, but in her ability to endure and thrive. Weeks later, Lumi finally blossomed, a small flower, but radiant and unique in her own way. Everyone in the garden came to admire her, realizing that every plant has its own path to growth. Message: the little sunflower Lumi represents children who face psychological challenges due to their environment or circumstances. Their strength might not be immediately visible, but within them lies a unique resilience. The story teaches us to stop comparing and to appreciate each child's individual journey, because the shadows they live in might be what shapes their true strength.